Learn how to grow your website design side hustle from $0 to over $5,000 a month and turn it into a revenue generating machine, all with $0. And all from the comfort of your home and without quitting your day job yet. I started to seriously build websites when I was 18, although I made a couple of other ones when I was like 11. But when I started at 18, I had no clue really what I was doing. And I went from $0 to now over $30,000 a month. And while I can't teach you how to create the best website within this one video, and I can over time, so check out the channel too. I go over a lot of web design and web development tutorials, so check that out. But the purpose of this video is I'm going to teach you all of the things you need to know to start a web design side hustle and succeed. There are a lot of challenges when doing this, and when I started, I felt like I was just blindly navigating the waters, and it took me over 8 years to get where I'm at now. But I think if I were to restart, I could get to where I'm at again in less than a year. Now, the techniques that I've used to grow my business from $0 to well over $5,000 a month all boil down to several main principles. It takes motivation, it takes dedication, and I've heard a quote with those two words before, and it really resonates with me. It's specifically about going to the gym, but it says that motivation will get you to the gym and dedication will keep you coming back. And so if you're here, you're clearly motivated to change your situation, start a web design side hustle, make money from it, but that's not enough. You're gonna have to stay disciplined to do it. And if you stay disciplined over time while combining, a passion for the work, if you really truly like this type of work, you're going to want to keep learning it. You're going to want to keep growing, and your business is going to succeed. You have to have an endless craving to really do this, an obsession to just continue plugging away at it, not worrying about if you're not growing as fast as you want or you're not learning as much. Just if you like it, it'll take time, stick with it, and just keep on grinding. And the ultimate underlying quality that I think has really helped me out, besides like the discipline part, is really having a rock solid work ethic. When it comes down to it, I have the obsession for this stuff, I have the passion, I have the motivation, and you put it all together, the foundation has to deal with having a rock solid work ethic. So if you've had a different job in the past and you've really succeeded, you always put in a lot of work and worked hard, and you can combine that with owning your own business, I think those two concepts really meld well together and you'll do very well. It's easy to talk about these dollar amounts, but what's very challenging is all the things it takes to get there. One of the biggest things is not knowing where to acquire clients, having little money to invest, working around your main job schedule, not having like a contract to send out to your prospective clients, not having an invoicing system, not knowing you might need one, a lack of direction in a lot of this stuff, including the website builder you should be using to get the best results, and really just determining what's necessary versus excess to start your business. It's a lot to figure out, especially if you have an existing day job, but it's all good. I'm going to show you how to establish all of that, and I'm going to give you a lot of the things that I use so you guys can use them to sign your clients, all for free within here. So we're going to dive in and solve all of these challenges so you guys can feel confident about going out there, finding clients, setting up a business relationship with them, and giving them the best results. So I'm a web designer, web developer, and SEO by trade, and the irony is that most of my clients come from existing clients, so the referrals. And the irony is there because I get hired for getting people new clients through search engines, yet most of my business comes from referrals, although we do grow our business through search engines too. Now, this is actually a really good thing for you, because if I were to tell you that SEO is going to be the way you get clients, it would take you at least a year. Now, this is the good old catch-22. How am I supposed to get clients from existing clients if I don't have any clients? I have a solution for you, and this is what I would do if I were to start over today. Now, for me, if I'm building a small website, 5 pages or less, it's gonna take me less than 2 weeks, and I'm not dedicated to that project. That's just a little bit of work here and there to get that done. It's not a lot. And if I'm trying to get started, what I would do is give a website away for free. Might sound a little crazy, but I think this can work really well. So what you should do is come up with a small list of companies that you would want to approach with this offer. And you want to make sure of 2 things. One, that their website is out of date, and so that they would entertain the idea of having a new website. And two, that they're an established business who has clients and customers. I would stay away from the friend that's trying to start a business and building a website from them, because one of the main goals here is to be able to do a great project for them and be able to get referrals from them. It's not guaranteed, but it'll at least get you a project under your belt, and it will likely lead to referrals too if they like the job you've done. I think all of my clients, maybe with an exception or two, have given us referrals or have led to some other business in one way or another. And one of those ways can be from having your name at the bottom of the website. And so you can say this website was by your name, link out to you, and you can get business that way too. So beyond those benefits, it's also going to be a website in your portfolio, which is going to be the tricky thing to get started if you don't have. You can tell everybody about how you want to get started and you're going to build them a great website, but if you don't know them, it's going to be hard to build that trust. And so having a portfolio of websites to display to them is going to help you get over that trust barrier. But if you're making an offer for them that's too good to refuse, like somebody's going to take it. If it's not the first person, it'll be somebody else within your list. But it's really an offer that's too good to refuse, because you can tell them, I would be completely honest. Honesty goes a long way. Let them know your position. I've got a main gig. I'm really passionate about websites and want to build a business building websites. And so I want to offer to build a website for free for you. If you don't like it, don't take it. The only thing I really ask for is that I can put my name at the bottom of the website, and that you can keep me in mind if you have any customers, clients, partners that are looking for a website, that you can give my recommendation. You can do this with businesses or nonprofits, some sort of organization, and just, make sure it's somebody that you want to work with and not just some like random company. If your passion shows through beyond just the website, but like, hey, I like what you guys have done and I want to help further your marketing materials by building you a website, that's going to show, and they're going to want to work with somebody who wants to work with them and not just like use them or collect a check from them. I'm going to continue on giving really, really valuable tips on how to create a structured deal for your clients. Not all of these will necessarily apply to if you're giving away a website, but they're necessary assets to have in order to actually sign clients and grow your business. Precursor, I shouldn't even have to say this, and I don't even know if I do, but like do your own research when it comes to like any tax or like legal advice I'm going to give you. I'm going to talk about some of that stuff in a bit, and I'm the web pro, okay? So once you find somebody that's interested in your services, you need to make sure you have your business ready. And I'm going to explain what I mean by this. What I don't want you to do is go over the top in spending money on a bunch of stuff that you think is necessary, but it's really not. I've had a lot of friends and I've just known a lot of people who start a business, but they don't actually get any sales or anything like that. They just spend so much time building what they think is necessary without filling the pipeline of people that want to work with them. And so you have to find the balance of having some stuff ready to form a relationship, but not going over the top. So I'm going to call out some of the most common things I see and tell you, yes, you need it, or no, you don't. So in order to onboard a client, I would say what's necessary is to have a proposal, a contract, a website builder, and an invoicing system. And I'm going to dive into each one of those and then give you the stuff that I use or my recommendations, and you guys will be able to implement them. For that kind of stuff, I'm going to have a link below in the description that you'll fill out a form, and I'm going to ask you just a couple questions and then manually send you guys this information. I may automate it in the future, but just bear with me because I want to ensure I get time to like read your submissions and be able to send you this stuff. These are like the core pieces of like how I'm doing business, and I don't necessarily just want to like give them away to just anybody. So I just want to like read your information and then be able to send it to you. So give me some patience with that, please. Okay, so moving on, the things you don't need: a website, a logo, a blog, and a branded email address. You don't need an official business entity either, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more. And again, this is something that you may want to do. Don't necessarily take my advice on this one, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So the first one that might be a little bit of a mind shocker is that you don't need a website. I've known very successful people that sell websites without having their own website. And there's ways around that. You know, it's like you could say, well, I'm too busy building your website. Would you rather me work on your website or my website? It's really not a big problem at all. But if you are a web designer, I think that what I would do is just create a very small one-page website that puts you on the internet, and that allows you to get link backs from the websites that you develop. So you can put it in the footer and say this website was developed by, and then link back to your own website. I have this one on my list because a lot of people that don't know how to build websites will invest in a website before they actually get a business started. And sure, it adds some validity to them, but they have no plans on how to like get clients. And so that's ultimately the number one goal: obtain clients. And then once you figure out that strategy, then maybe you want to build a website or do some other stuff. I really wouldn't recommend a lot of this until you have money coming in the door. You want to try to become profitable as soon as possible. And a lot of this stuff won't improve your odds at being profitable. Having a logo is another thing. Like, it doesn't matter. Just if anything, throw your name up there, whatever it is, in some like basic font, and you're good to go. You don't need a logo. You don't need to invest a lot in any of this. Some of this won't hurt though. So if you want to start a blog, that'll add some validity. If you want to post on LinkedIn, that'll add some validity to you. But all of the time you're doing on these unnecessary tasks will take away from your ability to just go get clients and start working on projects. You don't need all of this stuff to go do that. And if you spend time on this and you have spent time on your day job, you're not going to have any time to actually do the business part of what you want to do here. So I really recommend starting as small as possible. And that's why I say $0. Everything I recommend in here, you don't need a dime for. Okay, I'm gonna have everything that you guys are gonna want in the proposal and the template, but I'm gonna talk about how to fill in some of the blanks. So the goal here is to kind of connect with them. You're gonna wanna write an overview. If you ever have like submitted a resume and you have a cover letter, that's kind of the idea of the first page of the proposal. And you just wanna be able to connect with them, let them know that you understand their problems, you know, like, hey, your website's out of date, you want something more modernized, whatever it might be. And then connect their problems with your solutions. And, you know, I would love to be able to build them, give you guys a website that's going to take you into the future and all of that good stuff. You also are going to want to list your deliverables in there. And these are going to come down to everything you're going to provide. When I'm doing this a lot, I forget or I just take for granted some of the things, and I'll write them down like as I do them so I can create a bigger and bigger list. You want to overwhelm them, but you want to just be completely explicit on everything that you're providing. The way it works in sales is that the more value they see in the product, the perceived price will go down. So if you were to come out there and say, hey, this website's going to cost $5,000, they'd be like,
no, that's way too much.
But if you list out everything you're going to do, and so you want to break it down into features and benefits. So the features might be you're going to generate an SSL certificate for them and make sure that it stays live for the lifespan of the website. That's the feature. They might not get it, and so you want to explain the benefit to them. That way, when your visitors go to the website, they're going to have a secure connection protecting their information, and Google actually rewards websites that have the HTTPS and SSL cert by giving them a boost in rankings. And so the more stuff you talk about like that, they're going to be like,
oh, wow, I'm going to get more traffic from Google and my users are going to be secure.
That $5,000 might seem like $4,000 now. And as you keep adding up those features and benefits, that price will come down and down. It'll still be $5,000, but it's the perceived price where they'll be like,
oh, actually, this is a pretty good value and I want to do this.
And then you want to continue on within these proposals to talk about the project timeline. I like to just try to like lay everything out so they feel like they understand everything that's going on. And I've missed some of this stuff in the past, and this is where like they'll ask me questions, and that's why I've added it to it. So you're getting a proposal that's worked, and it works on $100,000 plus projects. So this is really gold here. Beyond that, so we got the timeline, we've got the pricing. You can give one big price, or you can break it down. So if you want to say it's going to be, you know, $1,000 for graphic design, $1,000 for copywriting, $3,000 for implementation, whatever it might be, that's optional. You can do that. And then if you do have any recent worker testimonials, I know I'm talking to people that potentially don't, but keep that in mind that as you get testimonials or recent work, you can fill up some of the last pages with just some like bolster sales material where they can read a review or check out a recent project. I would wait until you have enough so you don't look like super small, but you know, if you just have one, it's better than nothing. So at the same time, it could be good to send it there. And then lastly, you want a closing page, logo. If you have one, doesn't matter, your name, your LinkedIn, your website if you have one, your phone number, your email, everything that they can do to continue research or contact you. And sometimes I might send the agreement with the proposal because the company may want to see the types of terms and conditions they're getting involved in. I don't like very lengthy terms or anything like that. They're just very simple terms to surround the agreement, talking about the deliverables, so basically the same thing that was in the proposal you put into the contract, but there's a lot more legal jargon in there, and it just defines the two businesses that are working, the timeline, the price, the deliverables, and then other like legal stuff like about intellectual property, copyrights, and stuff like that. Just some stuff to give you guys both protection. I'm going to have that contract in the getting started packet as well. Again, this is the same contract that I've used to sign like really large clients. So it works. It's great. The terms and conditions are good. I'm not a lawyer, but you know, it's better than not having anything. And so if you do just send the proposal, then they might say like, yep, I'm interested. And if you haven't sent the contract yet, then follow up the contract as soon as possible. I usually sign it first, send it off to them so they can sign it, and they'll send it back to you. And now you have an officially signed client. I always like to say that the deal's not done until the contract is signed. There's probably better sayings out there, but it's just fact that we've had a lot of people that are like very interested and it's going to go down, and then something happens. So you want to make sure that you're prompt in getting them the contract to sign before other things can go down. They change their mind or whatever. So, you know, keep that in mind, that the deal's not done until that signature is on that document. Great. Once we get the contract signed, our next step is to go into our invoicing system and send out an invoice for them to pay. You guys can come up with your own terms, but I'm going to tell you how I bill smaller projects and why I bill it that way. And I'm also going to tell you what invoicing system to use, although this isn't like the end all be all. I have other suggestions where I'll say like, this is what you should use. This invoicing system just happens to be one that I think is good for small businesses, but there's plenty of others. So the way I bill clients for small projects is by billing 50% of the cost up front and then 50% upon completion. This seems to be the most fair balance that makes everybody comfortable, because on our side, we're able to get paid to initiate the work. And on their side, they're not paying for it all up front. So they're not concerned about them not liking the results and not having any leverage to have you fix some stuff. So by them hanging on to that 50% until they're satisfied, until they're ready to launch, makes them feel more comfortable. And so once we're done and they're done with revisions, we'll then bill them for the rest of the 50%. Once that's paid, we make the website live. I would do it that way. You know, everybody out there typically has good intentions. It's just that sometimes once the website's live, they get busy, they might not fulfill the payment. And the fact that the website won't go live until that payment is complete will motivate them to finish the payment. Now, the platform that I would recommend checking out is Wave. Wave is great for sending out invoices. It's also great for recurring billing. It's great for accounting. And you can even manage payroll if you get to that point, which means you'll be paying yourself with like a bi-weekly paycheck or something along those lines, which you'll want to do eventually. It's great to have that consistent income. It's great if you ever want to apply for like a mortgage or something like that. They need to see consistent income. And it's great for taxing and all of that. And I'm going to get more into the business structure in a bit. But so after the invoicing is done, check out Wave. You know, you may invoice through them. There's like probably 3 other ones that are competitors that are within the realm of Wave. Then it goes to onboarding the client. So in summary, you've sent them the proposal, they liked it, you sent them the contract, they signed it, you sent them the invoice, they paid it, and now what we do is onboard the client. So I have like a questionnaire I go through with most of my small projects that allows me to, first of all, gather all the necessary assets to succeed on the project. So I need to know if they have any colors already defined within their business, their hex codes. I need to know their logo, if they have the source file, that way we can like blow it up if we need to, or use it in ways that aren't just like you're restrained to a 200 pixel photo. We get to know their branding, their font family, stuff like that. But then we also go through and ask them questions to understand their business more, because what you have available is whatever's on their website, and whatever's on their website is going to be outdated, most likely if you're rebuilding it. And so you want to go through and ask them questions that are engaging, that makes them think about some stuff and they'll answer them, and you're going to take notes. It's okay to record that call too. We always do this over either an in-person meeting or over a video call. And then that's going to help you build the website. You're going to understand their needs, their problems, what their consumers' needs are, their problems, and be able to really formulate a great website. So I'm going to have that in the getting started packet as well. And you guys will be able to ask your clients these questions to be able to succeed. Okay, now that you have all of the questions back from the client, the next step is implementation. You can break this up and do a little bit of planning first. For smaller websites, the planning's a lot easier. For larger websites, you might need to create a very detailed sitemap to understand how all of the pages are going to fit together. But when it's like a homepage, about us, contact us, our services, it's going to be a lot more streamlined. So once it comes to implementation, here's one of those suggestions I have that I really wouldn't stray far away from this, and this is like the golden one, and that's for website builder. So if you've already followed me on YouTube or seen my content, you know I talk a lot about this. If you haven't, I'm very excited to introduce Duda to you. Duda is an amazing website platform that allows you to build websites and host them and do everything in between, all in one platform. It's completely free to use until you host the website. Once you go and host it, the most you can pay is $19 a month, but if you pay annually, you can get it down to like $100 per year. There's different tiers within Duda. They have an agency tier. They've got in-between tiers. I cover that in other YouTube videos. Start on the most basic one until you have enough to fill out the other tiers. So the agency tier comes with 4 websites, and then it's an additional $11 per month for each additional website. Don't get that until you are ready for that, or unless if you really need one of the features on the agency tier. The base tier is excellent. There's a couple of features it doesn't have. The website hosting is a little bit more expensive, but this goes back to the keep it simple, grow as your company grows. Don't overbuy stuff when you're expecting, oh, well, maybe I'll have 10 websites, soon. Just do whatever you need right now and then scale from there. You'll save a bunch of money. Trust me, do it that way. I actually use Duda as a professional. I've used just about every worthy content management system and website builder on the internet, and Duda is by far the best balance between capabilities, usability, performance. It's like the top one. It just crushes it, which is going to do really, really good in search engines. And so I really can't say enough good stuff about Duda, and it's great for beginners to professionals. So I work with beginners too, and they're able to just jump in and start editing almost immediately. They're also built for agencies, and so they prefer the agency as a client rather than going direct to the client. Now, one of the things here to keep in mind is when you do bill for hosting, you could only add 1 credit card to Duda. So we manage a lot of websites on our Duda platform, but we pay for it on our 1 credit card. And then we invoice our clients for hosting. And so that way you can go to Wave or whatever your billing system is, set up a recurring invoice, and it'll automatically charge their card if they approve that every month or every year, however you want to set up that contract. Now, the cool thing here is that when you are buying hosting from Duda, you're buying wholesale hosting, and so you can actually sell it for retail and mark it up a little bit. I'll have a link to sign up in the description. It's an affiliate link, but we each get benefits from it. So I think you get like 5% off your website hosting. And if you've known me before I became an affiliate for Duda, I was recommending it 100% all the way through. And if you don't know me yet, I 100% recommend only the stuff that I actually recommend. I don't care if I make money on it. Wave, they don't have a referral program, but I'm still recommending it. But if they do, I always check to see if they have a referral before I make a recommendation, because if I can, make a buck from giving a recommendation and helping grow their business that I would already make, then I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, you're not expected to be an absolute professional at everything within the website world. It's going to take a while to master web design or web development. And then there's graphic design, and then there's copywriting, and then you can make explainer videos. You can do voiceover. There's a bunch of different services you can offer within the digital realm. And so I wanted to bring your attention to Fiverr. If you haven't heard of it, it's a massive global network of freelancers that offer individualized services, and that you can buy whatever you need off of there for the digital realm. So if you need to buy an image because you're not good at graphic design, you can go to Fiverr and be able to purchase that there. So check that out. Careful, it's a slippery slope. There's so many cool services on Fiverr where I'm like, I want to buy that, I want to buy that, and it can suck up a lot of money. But if you're doing it smart and for your clients to create a better result, then it can be worth it. If you're doing it to build your own brand, then watch out. All right, the last main piece I want to talk about here is forming an LLC, or an official business entity with the state. If you're not in the US, I can't really talk exactly on what that looks like for your country, but I would assume you have some similar setup where you define to the state that you are a business and you're going to be doing business under a certain name. And this has two main purposes. The first is for taxation. If you were not a business, if you're just doing this as your name, you could even create a name, that's fine. But if you don't have an official entity registered with the government and you make $5,000, but say you spend $1,000 on Fiverr, you pay taxes on the $5,000. But if you have a business and you're billing under your business and you make $5,000, but then you spend $1,000 on Fiverr, you only have to pay taxes on $4,000. And so when you have a business, you're only paying taxes on profit. Now, the other benefit of forming a business, there's a sense of protection and separation from personal to business. So if the business gets sued, that typically stops the suing at the business and it can't come through to you. Again, like, do your own research to understand all of this. There's different angles you might want to look at, but that's just another area of why I would form a business structure. Now, to keep this article in this YouTube video accurate, I'm saying you can start a business with $0, and you can do all of this. If you want to form an official LLC with a state, it's going to cost maybe $100. Some states are more, some states are less. But search like form an LLC in Arizona, and then you fill out a document, and you have to pay like a processing fee. And that's mainly it. There might be some maintenance on the entity, but we'll keep it there for now. I just want to emphasize that I 100% do business under my LLC, but for a new person, I'm not necessarily telling you not to do it. I'm just saying it's possible to do it without a business, but you do have risks that way. So please understand that. I'm really excited to present you guys with all of this information. Tell me how this works for you, and tell me if there's any gaps I've missed. I would like to say that I take a long time to create some of this content, but some of it comes together rather quickly, and it's easy to miss certain things. If I have, reach out. I would love to talk with you and to be able to fill in whatever gap you may have. And if there's any content recommendations you have for me on stuff you want to see to succeed in starting your website design side hustle or anything else in the website space, then I'm your guy. Thanks so much for watching till the end, guys. I really appreciate you, and we'll catch you in the next one. Good luck on your business.